Hello, and welcome to our third episode of Jack Health's video series, Points of View. I'm Cameron Scott, and today we are joined by Jamie Hardesty, SVP Scientific Healthcare Strategy, and Ashley Brantman, SVP General Manager and co-head of Jack 39. Today, as per usual, we'll have 3 questions, but this episode is all about marketing as a healthcare brand. So let's jump right into it and see whose opinion can sway me most this week. So our first question. How would you respond if a healthcare client asked how they should show up at the Olympics? Jamie, why don't you start first?
Well, I think I would start by saying, if you want to associate your brand with excellence and achievement, then Olympics are just about the best platform you're going to find. And yeah, it's not going to be cheap to do. That's at least where most people's brains are going to go at first. But it is truly, if you think about it, one of the greatest storytelling platforms that there are. The stories that, that come out of the Olympics, they write themselves into the stories of our lives, of our country, and really they become core memories and they create superheroes and champions overnight. And so the opportunity to insert your stories, your narratives, your message alongside those on a global stage is just about irreplicable anywhere else. And if you're brave enough to do it, then I think you should do it.
Yeah, and my first question back to them would be, what are you hoping to achieve with an Olympic partnership? So you always want to start kind of rooting your playbook or your activation plan in what their objectives are. So if it's entertaining customers, there's an incredible hospitality opportunity, obviously, within the Olympics, especially in Paris. If it's mass awareness, there's a great media element. You can be a ring sponsor and get incredible, media coverage across the NBC family of properties. If it is storytelling and content, maybe a little further down funnel, athletes are a great way to do that, to Jamie's point. It's an excellent way to globalize a brand. If you're only known in certain regions of the world, this is your ability to kind of credibly get onto the global stage. And I would say finally, make sure you do what you can to avoid the clutter. Make sure you have a clear message and your ability to, really stand out and have prominent share of voice across what is usually a pretty crowded space.
Great. Our second question is, what are the risks involving your brand with the Olympic sponsorship? Ashley, do you want to take this one first?
Sure. There's risk with any partnership, right? I think, again, if you start from a place of understanding what you're hoping to achieve, you'll immediately get off on the right foot and help minimize the chance of risk. I ended the last question talking about clutter. I think that's a risk in itself because you want to make sure you, again, are identifying a really authentic way to integrate. What is your product or service and how does it actually enhance the fan experience or enhance the player's experience? That is the purest form of a successful partnership, is when it truly feels like it's amplifying or enhancing that experience of the fan, the team, the players, the athletes. That's kind of where the magic happened.
Well said. Jamie?
I think you run into some of these risks around the controversy and the ethical concerns that often exist around the Olympics. I think, when you go in on the Olympics, you go all in on the Olympics. And I think it can be, the hesitation brands may have is, am I going to lose control over some of the narrative? And to some degree, you do. Athletes often use these opportunities as platforms, and they have been great platforms for great messages. But you have to be prepared that your brand's going to be part of that message or associated with that message and how you're going to respond. And of course, regulatory and legal challenges, it wouldn't be me if I didn't bring that one up. Thankfully in healthcare, we're used to navigating those types of things. But, certainly within the landscape, how you show up, the ways in which you show up, engage through marketing opportunities is challenging. So you're going to need a partner in that process.
Well said. So are we ready for the last question?
Do it.
What are your favorite ways brands have shown up this year so far or in the past? Jamie, you can lead us off on this one.
Yeah, my big thing this past year that I've been loving is when I'm seeing healthcare brands show up alongside non-healthcare brands. I think for a very long time, it's been healthcare brands talking to healthcare stakeholders, and they've missed this huge opportunity to tie themselves to culturally relevant, authentic brands that already have these deep connections with audience. When you take an opportunity to look at, the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark, and you see Eli Lilly, their logo right here alongside Salesforce. You saw Pfizer at South by Southwest sitting on stages with EOS Cosmetics and Delta, having bigger conversations than just what is Pfizer doing and what impact are our products having. The same for Moderna and Welcome to the mRNA Age and their Changemakers campaign at the U.S. Open alongside Cadillac. And so I think, truly the opportunity at the Olympics in sport in general, and Ashley, you can talk to this better than I can, but, is to truly insert yourselves into an audience that may not typically be interested or naturally ready to hear and take in your message in the places that you're serving it. So it's a huge opportunity to tell your story to new audiences.
Yeah, and I thought about this question while Jamie was chatting, and everything that came to mind wanted to speak to actually how NBC as a brand has really evolved, how they are covering and also promoting the Olympics. They have done a really nice job bringing in their other properties, which by definition has captured a different audience than maybe they've otherwise would have received. You get great attendance and you get great viewership through the Olympics. But I think using everything from Bravo to NBC to Univision, they've created this promo runway that has already captured such a diverse audience. I just think they've done a beautiful job with that. And then from a traditional kind of brand integration, P&G to me just always shines really bright. Their Thank You Mom campaign. I'm a new mom, so that always helps. But it resonates so strongly with me, telling those stories so authentically through the athletes, and it just feels very emotive and really honest. And just given their product portfolio and who they are as a brand, it touches and hits really hard.
So it was neck and neck there. After tallying up all the votes, we have a winner. It was 9-10, and it was Ashley. So,
wow.
Are you ready for your soapbox?
I am ready for my soapbox.
Great. It starts now.
It's the perfect transition from the last question. I'm a new mom of 10 months. So my big thing that I want to talk about is there's a lot out there around, it being really hard and challenging and, everything changing, which is all true. But I want to take a second to also recognize you kind of can do it all, right? You can be an incredible career woman. You can be an incredible mom. You can travel. You can be a great friend, a great wife, a great partner. And you can talk about that and brag about it and feel really great about it. So that's my soapbox. And, cheers to all the moms out there.
I love that. I love that. Thank you guys so much for joining. That is all for today. Thank you for watching this episode of Points of View with Jack Heltz.